Everybody. We are here with Dzeerogs, aka Tim. He's the creator behind Tape Dudes. Sorry for the background noise. And we're going to be talking about his process and the magic behind what he does. Are you there, Tim?
Yes, I'm here. Hi.
Welcome. So, first question is, how did you get started in making art and also getting into the world of NFTs?
Yeah, it's a good question. It was kind of the other way around. So through the NFTs, I started to do art. I was creative my whole life, I would say, but I wouldn't consider myself as a artist for the most part of my life. So this crypto art thing is the first time where I do this, where I continue to do this. And so it was kind of the other way around. So I was first in touch with NFTs through games and things like that. And then I discovered Pixel Chain, and it was so easy to use, and I just could click my pixel art together and mint it. This was very easy to do. So that was kind of the start with this whole crypto art thing for me.
Wow, I'm surprised to hear that, because I look at your pixel art and it looks like you would also be like trained as a painter or something with the shading and detail that you have.
Yeah, well, okay. I have an education background. I was studying design, so I'm not completely far away from. But I don't consider myself as an artist in this way. So I'm not like classically trained in that way. Of course, we had some courses like painting and drawing and stuff like that, but I never did that for a long period of time. So I think maybe the time where I gathered some skill in this is my childhood. I was drawing a lot there, but then so maybe the talent was trained there back then, and it was always a part of my life to be creative and do creative things, but it wasn't just about painting or drawing. It was for example, I'm making beats since I'm 15.
Oh wow!
So I did a lot more music, for example, than I was drawing, or things like that. But I have an educational background, so I'm not a super talent that just happens to make nice pictures.
I would say that you are super talented.
Thank you.
It's very impressive that you are also a designer and also have been making beats. And I know that's not what this interview is about, but I'm definitely interested in hearing your music too, as a music lover. That's really cool. Could you say a little bit more about your journey into minting NFTs and like how you were introduced to? You mentioned some games, but like how did you discover Pixel Chain, and are you minting NFTs elsewhere, or have you been exclusively using Pixel Chain as a medium?
Well, as you can see, I also used OpenSea. You have it just here. And also I minted something on Infinity. But it was only one piece, and I did not really promote that because it's this Tape Dude invasion here. Scroll up, please. Yeah, it's just this broken thing. Tape Dude invasion. Third piece, yeah. So, and there's a beat on it actually. So you might not be hearing that now.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So the reason why I did not promote that was because there were some technical issues while minting this. I had a lot of problems uploading this. So I kept it like that. But yeah, okay, for your question, the first time I was minting something was on Pixel Chain. Actually, it was my profile image, and I cannot really remember how I found Pixel Chain. I don't know. It was there at some point, and I was just happy to find it, because I was thinking about doing some crypto art before that, but I saw, for example, Super Rare, Known Origin were the first places that I saw where you could mint this. They're kind of a closed garden. So as I said, I never really produced a lot of art for a long time, so I did not have any portfolio or anything that I could show them for the application. So this was perfect for me, Pixel Chain, because I did not have to do anything. It was just open, and I could just do it in the browser. I didn't even need to produce anything offline before, or even digital. I didn't need to draw anything. I could do it just in the browser. This was a really nice thing.
Yeah, I love that about Pixel Chain, that it makes it accessible for everybody.
Yeah.
And I know you don't consider yourself an artist, but I guess there's other people out there that don't consider themselves artists that could really have a lot of fun with it, and get started in the NFT space on their own and minting their own work.
Oh yeah. I think so too. Yeah, I think the biggest barrier is this whole onboarding. I mean, I was I knew about MetaMask. I had ETH, and I was playing crypto games before, so it was really easy for me. But if there's somebody, I remember this. There's this guy. He's called. Let me think. I think Stuntman Bob. You should check him out. He's on Twitter, and he's doing pixel art that is most of the time is 32 times 32 big. So I thought this was perfect for him. So I just tried to onboard him to this, and I think I scared him away, because I was trying to explain blockchain and what it was all about, and he never answered to me that. And before that, he was like, yeah, I would like to hear about it. And I wrote a lot of stuff into his private message, and then he never answered back. So I don't know if he thought I was some sort of scammer or something like that. I don't know. But I have the feeling just to explain it scares a lot of people away.
Yeah, I mean, from my own personal experience, I took a very long time as an artist to start minting my own work, because it felt like there's like a million sub-tasks to just get the one art minted. But once you get to know it, it's easy. But getting your wallet started, if you have to start from scratch, it's like very daunting and confusing, and you're like, am I doing this right? It's a little, but hopefully we can get some more artists to not be afraid and come into this world a little bit more. I think it would be, I like that the space is kind of intimate and feels like it's a secret world of our own that's outside of like the gallery world and all of that, which is very appealing to me. So talking about the Tape Guys series, can you tell us like what the inspiration was behind that?
Yeah, actually it was Hackatow's Podmorgs. So when I started, I started with these Trump portraits, and yeah, they didn't get sold. So that's not a big thing, but I thought, okay, maybe this is something a lot of people don't want to have in their wallet. And I saw these potmarks from Hackatow that they sell pretty well, and it was pretty obvious, I think. And I'd have to say I didn't know who Hackatow was at that moment in time. I had no idea. So I just thought that this seemed to work very well. And then I remembered that, and I was thinking about doing something similar, some kind of character that, is nice to look at, and something I could do a lot of variations with. So, and then I remembered I was scribbling back when I was a student. I was sometimes scribbling these tape heads, just tapes that looked like heads. Unfortunately, I didn't found any. I was actually looking for that. I didn't found them. But I remembered that, and then I thought, okay, that this could be something. So I made this tape dude number 1, and then that was the start. That's the whole story behind it, actually.
They're really endearing. I love the to me, they have a expression on their face. If it's supposed to be a face, I'm not sure, but I see I see a little face.
It's a face.
Yeah. And I also noticed this, unfortunately, quite familiar face to me, an American. What was your impetus for doing these Grimly, this little Grimly series?
Yeah, I don't really know why I did this, but it was kind of, I tried to express. I mean, this man is obviously full of hate and seems pretty childish in his behavior. So I just tried to, without saying what he is or what he does, I was trying to show, I think, just from the expression in his face, what kind of a personality he is. And
I think you were successful.
I tried that, yeah. I mean, especially the number 3 is, I mean, he looks like a child that, I don't know, that wasn't allowed to watch TV or something.
I think that you were very successful in getting that emotion across. It was funny because Decryptolorian asked, how do you come up with the expressions, especially for Trump? But you totally hit the nail on the head. It was pretty easy to get that across.
Yeah. And to be honest, this was also kind of a practice for me. I think you can see it. The first one is, I think for me, it's kind of flat. And there are some things I would do differently now. But I think the last one, I think you see a little progression quality.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, you're right. It's got a little more dimension as you get third one. You had mentioned that since we're talking about progression, did you want to share your screen and show the what am I calling it? Like the process video that you have? I think people would be really interested to see start to finish.
So let me check. Yeah, this is for the last one, the tape tuned number 16. Find the right screen here.
If everyone would click on Dzeerogs' name and go on his stream when he starts so you can see the video. And in the meantime, Decryptolorian asks, how do you determine shading in your pieces?
Determine? Sorry, what?
Like, how do you I guess decide like where you're going to be shading and like because it's such a flat medium, like how do you do that?
yeah, after these, or while I was doing these Trump, these Grimly series, I was, I think the first one I was just doing kind of intuitively some things, and then I actually downloaded me an ebook about pixel art, and that showed me that you can do a lot of things with shading. So. Or just make a line appear thicker or thinner just by putting pixels in a certain color beneath it or around it. And yeah, so this is some knowledge I just acquired, I guess, and then I try to do this, and then actually the small images in the pixel chain editors there help a lot. So you can see if I put the pixel at this place, then it looks better than when you put it in another place. So it's a lot of try and error also.
Yeah. And Spazzy asks, do you plan out your works, or do you have fun with it and refine it as it goes when you work on these?
Both. So the pixel, the tape dudes, the first one was just made like that. So I didn't had any sketch or anything for that. But then I didn't even know how many there would be at that point. So I know that it was the first, and I don't know if you noticed, but I added this a Morse code on their T-shirt. So it says TD1, the dots on the shirt.
Oh, I did not notice that was Morse code. It's cool.
And I continued this with all the other ones. And that was kind of a scary thing also, because I need to double and triple check every time before I was minting that this Morse code was correct. Because once it's minted, you can't change it anymore. Yeah. But so I don't really plan them in that way. I used the first one as a template for the next ones to follow, and also I used other ones as the template for so I always used some tape that I created for templates as a template for other ones. So this made it a bit easier, but I think each one was planned when I was thinking about what it could be as soon as I started it.
Okay.
I found a cool website. I think it's called tapedeck.org. It's full of tapes, pictures of tapes, and this was also a source of inspiration. So yeah.
You had mentioned that you downloaded an ebook on pixel art, and Anissa was asking, what are some books or resources that you take reference from when learning how to create pixel art?
It was the only one by now.
Oh, really?
It was, yeah. I can't even tell how the name was, but I can look for the link and post it later.
Okay, great.
Yeah, it was the only one. It was more about pixel art games, so with creating sprites and this thing also. But yeah, it was still very helpful.
That's really cool. And Katie Laurie was asking, do you come up with your color palettes ahead of time, or do you import it from a previous project, or do you add and edit colors as you go along?
The last one. Of course, as I said, I use previous tape dudes as a template for the next ones, so I have the colors of that in place. But then I change them. I know most of the time, as you can see here, you can see my screen, right?
Yes, I can see your screen. I see
Yeah.
the your self-portrait.
So I have some colors that are always in the same place. So for example, the last one in this palette is always my background color. So that's pretty quick to change. And yeah, in the middle, it's kind of chaotic. Yeah, that's just the colors as they are. And yeah, it's more like in the process of creation, I play around with the colors and take. I mean, I have a certain plan or idea about what color it might be. For example, when I saw a green tape somewhere, then I thought, okay, my next tape might be green. So that's. But all the other colors are more or less, made on the fly or picked on the fly. Yeah.
That's the most fun way, I think.
Yeah, and it's very easy to do because one thing I like very much about Pixel Chain is that you can change the color in place, so that you don't have to redraw the pixels in another color. So you just it's very easy to adjust the colors and see how that feels and how that looks in real time. And I
love that feature.
A really cool thing. Yeah.
And that brings us to my next question from Alegria, which is, what's your favorite feature of Pixel Chain? And is there a feature that you would desire to have there? Is there something else that you would add to make it an easier workflow?
For me, it's working fine as it is. But if there's one thing I'm missing is that would be saving the data of a creation, like a download. Mm-hmm. Download and being able to upload it later on. I do this manually. You can see it here. I always have these developer tools open. And everything is saved in the local storage. So and this is the pixel data here. So I regularly copy this and save it as a text file. And especially I do that for if I have a state where I think, okay, this is good, but I want to try something else. Then I save this and then I try to improve this, and if I like it, this is the next state, and if I don't like it, I can go back to the saved state. So yeah.
So basically, wait, finish what you were saying, and then I'll ask my follow-up question.
Mm-hmm. Sorry?
I was saying finish what your thought, and then I'll ask my follow-up question to that. Or were you done talking?
I was done talking. Sorry.
Sorry, no, it's okay. I was saying, so if you're working on a work in progress, you just use the developer tools and copy you copy and paste the data when you come back to it later. Yep. That's genius. So you found there have been times that I lost stuff and I'm like, forget it, and I just don't mint anything. Okay, so I'm writing that down in my notes.
So you can do this with I can show it right here if you want to. So these are, for example, so you should see Trump now in a second. So you have to reload, but then it's there.
That's so smart.
Yeah.
So you have all that saved.
It would be very nice to have this feature as something in the browser. So you can say, okay, just download this state of the pixel, and I mean, the local storage is pretty. Most of the time, this stays forever in the browser. It can happen that you lose it completely, and and this is one of the things when you have a state where you think this is kind of good, but I would try other colors, for example. Then and you change the colors around, then it's very hard to get back to the colors you had before.
Yeah.
To the precise colors. I mean, you could also pick every color and write it down, but yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I was looking at your stuff on OpenSea, like animated tape dudes. How did you create those?
Yeah, this is the second tool I'm working with. I created those with processing. I don't know if you guys know this, but it's a tool for creating, for coding, for creative coding, and it's a lot of fun. So for anyone that wants to, I can recommend this for everyone who wants to learn programming. Because you can just you code stuff. You have a play button. I can show this too. Maybe I show this later. But
I asked, like, we're doing a lot of show and tell at the same time.
Yeah.
But that's good.
So and I made them with processing. So, and this is the cool thing about Pixel, that you have the data, and I was grabbing the data that I saved anyway as a text file. So, and I imported them into processing and redraw the tape dudes in processing. And
that's really cool.
This enabled me to make them explode, for example. So
like, I assumed that it was an animation program. That's really cool that it's just code.
Yeah. Yeah, this is this is really cool, I think, because with the data, and even that, I mean, it would even be cooler if I had some script that could take the data from directly from the blockchain and then manipulate this. But I have to say, often I have to adjust the tape dudes for the animations, so it's not always the exact original like it is on the blockchain.
Hold on, I think Leandro, your mic is on.
Oh, sorry.
No worries. Regarding that program, Katie Laurie wanted to know what the name of the program was called. She said processing. Just processing.
Yeah, processing. Let me just. I think I can. So it's not the URL, but I put it in the chat.
Great, thank you.
Processing.org. Yeah. Has really cool tutorials also. So it's a great way to start coding, and it's very rewarding because you have this little IDE-like thing where you can write the code, and then you have a play and a stop button, and every time you have the play button, you see what you just did. So it's very rewarding.
That's really cool. You can just see the finished product in real time, or test what the finished product would be in real time. Yeah. And speaking of processing, did you want to share like the step-by-step? I think you
for sure.
earlier the tape dudes. I think that might also satisfy Decryptolorian's curiosity on, my curiosity too, on shading and how you build.
I have an animation for this. I want to show that too, but maybe this is easier to explain with. So I started with just this shape. So the tape dude number 16 was the first one where I really thought, okay, what could that be, and in what kind of setting could this be? Because with the introduction of the 64x64 canvas, it was possible to do a lot more to put them in a setting. At least this was something I wanted to try. So it was about the time when the CryptoPunk game came out. So even if I didn't play it yet, I thought about putting this tape dude in kind of a CryptoPunk setting, some kind of a city with a lot of lights and stuff like that. So I just started with something to give me a perspective, this simple form, and then I started to
see that
create
already.
create the shapes of the buildings. Then I put lights to it. Next was the Ethereum logo in the background, and you already see the shading here. And this is, for example, a state in between. So I just switched the background color to have a bit more contrast, because this was really hard to add lights to, for example. So because you can hardly see the edges from the houses. This was the next thing to do. And then I changed some colors, and here I added this glow to the lights, and then to all the lights.
Wow.
And then there was this glow for the Ethereum logo thing. So this was my first. I could actually mint this as it is. I still have the data for this. And then after I thought, okay, the city setting looks good. I just put the tape dude over it. Started with this, and then added some more details to it. Here I decided this should have some transparent parts. Oh yeah, and this is also the first tape that wasn't inspired from some existing tapes. This is the first one where I kind of decided that it should have this form. And as you can see here, you have this transparent part, and in the next picture you see I made this all the colors in there a bit darker, so you have a better feeling of transparency there.
Wow, so much work. Like just
it was a lot of work.
It's a lot to think about.
Yeah. And I was doing this with some of the from series 1, I would say, the smaller tape dudes. But I did it the other way around there. This was the first time I made the background, and then put the tape dude in front. Added some glows here on the edges, then some reflections here. So this was the first one. Oops. This was the first version, I would say, and I thought it was nice, but something was weird about it. And I asked some friends and my wife about what they think, and they said, it's a Christmas tree with legs, and someone said there would be a rocket with legs and a tape in front. And I said, what kind of legs? And actually they were right. If you look at long enough, you could think these are legs and these are the shoes.
I guess it must have been so frustrating to do all that work and you're like, this looks like a rocket ship. Like what?
Yeah. But it was good to get this feedback, because I would have minted this and I would not have been happy with it afterwards, I think.
It's definitely clearer now.
Yeah. So this was then the final result. And also here in the middle, I added too many reflections. So you can guess if you know this Ethereum, you can guess, okay, it might be this Ethereum logo, but
Right.
it kind of disappears here. And so, yeah, in the end, it was this. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So, yeah, it was. It took me a long time to make this. I think it was the hardest and most difficult one to do.
I was going to ask how long it took, and actually which one of your pieces was the most challenging, and you already answered that question.
Yeah.
But this looks like it was a couple of days of work, no?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I only have time for, as I have a normal 9-to-5 job, and I have a family, so I can only do this for a few hours in the evening. So, but this was an ongoing thing for a few days. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it was worth the time and effort, because now all the stuff that you intended to show in it, it's clear, because you can see throughout the process where you like made different decisions, and like now it does look like a transparent tape, and yeah, that's my mind's blown. That's yeah. What did he said? Decryptolorian said that piece is awesome, and Spazzy said that they have the same problem, and some of the works I see something entirely different, and so then there I am reworking the whole part.
Yeah.
Go back.
Yeah, it's worth a lot to get some feedback sometime. You can. This is especially with this pixel chain thing, I think, or I'm sure it's with other pixel art too, but outside of pixel chain. If you're working very long on this, and you sometimes even don't know if do you like it? Is it really looking good anymore, or is it? Has it become worse? Has it become better? It's sometime after the longer you work with this, the harder it is to tell, at least for me.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to step away for a while. Yeah. I was going to ask, so do you ever have moments where you're, like, what do you do when you're working on something for so long and you're not sure about it? How do you get back into it and get the motivation to finish it?
Motivation is not that problem. It's more like that I have to say, okay, now take a break. Just pause for a day, do something else. That is, I might think that would be the answer. That I just pause a day or two and then get back to it. And of course, I can do this because I save all the data. So this is very crucial, saving all the data all the time.
Yeah, that is the best. I didn't know you could do that. So now I'm like, it's opened up a whole world of being able to save ideas for later for Pixel Chain. That's awesome. Spazzy said they have trouble taking breaks. I'm still in the middle of learning how to do that. I hear you, Spazzy. I have the same issue. If I'm working on something, there's like a part of me that's like, I just want to finish it. I can't step away until I finish it. But sitting there and trying to force it is not working either.
Yeah.
So it's hard to, sometimes it's hard to find that balance and know when you should step away or know when you should keep pushing through when it's difficult.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you have any advice for any budding artists that are getting into creating pixel art or just minting NFTs in general?
Yeah, it's a tough question. I have to say, for pixel art, I don't know. I have to say, the first pixel art piece I seriously did was my profile image. So I didn't, and I did it with GIMP first, and then I created it in Pixel Chain later on. But I was always, I think being a fan of pixel art helps. So I don't know what it is. It's hard to describe. There's some feeling to these pixel art things. Yeah, they just pop up. When I see pixel art, I think this is awesome, and maybe it's because I was introduced to pixel art through all the old games back in the days, because they were all pixel art essentially, and maybe it's kind of a retro feeling I get. So for me, it just feels good to do this. To start with pixel art, I guess, as I said, reading about it, how you can do it, and how you create certain effects. This was very helpful, and also looking at other pixel art is also very helpful to just And I think Pixel Chain is a great tool to learn. You don't have to mint it, but you can use it as a playground for creating something, and it's because it's so very easy to do. It's much easier than creating a setup in Photoshop or GIMP or anything for pixel art.
Yeah, it's much more complicated in Photoshop to get the same effect.
I mean, I think there are also some apps there, I don't know, for iPad and other devices, especially for pixel art, but I haven't tried them yet.
No, I haven't either. My only foray into pixel art has been Pixel Chain so far, but it's really fun.
And what I learned while doing it, you really have to try a lot with the colors, especially in contrast and what color pixel comes next to the other. That makes a lot of a difference often. And this is also great with Pixel Chain, that you can just adjust the colors and see how it changes.
You could test it without having to repaint every single pixel. Yeah. So Spaze asks, what type of art is your favorite? Is it pixel art, or do you like making pixel art and looking at other types of art instead?
I think at the moment is its favorite one is pixel art, and another one generative art. Maybe because I also started to learn programming with processing, and it's quite a tool for generative art.
Do you have any specific artists that you have been inspired by?
Not really. I have to admit that. Okay, right now that I'm in this crypto space, of course there are some artists that I really like. For example, Pixel Queen is someone doing great generative art. It's what I think is great about it is that's so very simple, and yet it's always kind of cool. And there are lots of other generative art I see on Twitter regularly, but it's so much I often cannot. I even follow these artists, but I often cannot remember the names. So this is kind of a problem I have.
There's a lot out there.
So I follow quite a few generative artists. Alexis Andrei is one that I really like. He's regularly, I think he's almost daily posting some work. And he's also on Super Rare. He's creating really great stuff. And what he does very well is creating these infinite loops. And this is one of the hardest things I think when you have animated, generated art, to create these loops, because there's always an algorithm behind it, and you have to somehow manage to create the perfect, the exact same image that it started with. So we have to make sure to make this through code. This is really hard, I think, and he's brilliant with this.
seems like it's really difficult to create loops both in music and in visual art. It's like it looks like it's simple, but it's really not.
Yeah.
So do you have any plans for any new Pixel series coming up or pieces that you'd like to share?
So maybe I will continue this tape tube series. I'm not sure yet, but probably I will do it. A series with 64 times 64, but I have nothing in process there. I have something. Maybe I show you this with process, or at least I will tease it. So this is. Here you can see why this is working so well. So this is actually it's transformed data. It's not the exact data from the pixel chain, but this is something pixel pandas. I call it pixel. Don't ask me why I come up with pandas. Sometimes I have an idea and just do it, and then I don't know why I picked that idea. It's no specific reason in this case, but maybe, yeah. I just recognized same with tapes. It's and these pandas. It's something that seems to be very scarce and getting scarcer. Yeah. Maybe this is a little bit of the idea behind it. So let me tease this.
Ooh, tease.
Oh, wrong screen, sorry. So these are, actually they are all done. So the series is complete and it's the same amount of pandas like with the tape dudes. So it was it's 7 in the lowest part, and there will be 5 of this kind, and then like the boss one, and then the double one in the top. Yeah. I would say I'm about. Sorry.
I said I love the expressions on the pandas' faces. It was sweet.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say I'm about 95% done. I need some polishing for some of them, and this is also I often use this processing in parallel to pixel chain. So I create this when I finished this first panel. I started with this in the bottom left. I put this in processing afterwards, and then I created the next one, and I positioned them all in this canvas so I can see the whole thing, because that was something what with the tattoo series I had to kind of guess that it would fit in well the next tattoo, and here I can preview it place before I make them all. So this is it wouldn't be possible if I didn't have this from the browser.
So you're using what are you using to create these before going into Pixel Chain, or you did create these in Pixel Chain? Sorry, I didn't.
I did. Yeah. Sorry, I did create these and then I saved the data as I always do, and then I imported this data into processing, and in that way I could. I already have this take-two class that manages this, that draws these characters. And then I can see them all in one place before they are even minted. So I can have a preview, and I can get a feeling for them for the whole set before I mint any of them.
That makes a lot of sense. It makes it so much easier to look at if you're trying to create a series or a collection, to make sure that everything feels like it belongs together.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really smart. And I guess my next question is, how do you feel about established artists, like traditional artists, coming into the NFT space? Do you feel like it's is it like changing the playing field a little bit, or you're not really sure? Like, I think you were saying you follow a couple of people, but you're not.
I'm not really sure.
Like-
I think I often, for example, with people, I just, to be honest, I'm kind of a social media ignorant guy. So I did even have Twitter before I started making crypto art. So I discovered a lot of art through this, just through following crypto art space. And for some reason, people several times, and I always thought, why is he not doing crypto art? So it's predestined for this, and yeah, finally he's doing it. But so I think, and I also sometimes I try when I see some artists, and I think the art that they make would be a very good fit for crypto art, that it would even sell very well. I try to convince them sometimes, but as it was, as I told earlier, with I don't always scare them away, but some of them are how to say, so they do this for a living, and they have a certain setting, and for some of them it means to leave this setting to do crypto art, and that's also a big barrier, I think, for some of them. I remember talking to, I forgot her name, I think it was Kim Hu or something like that. She's drawing, I think she's also from Germany, and she's drawing comic style. I think she's even doing comics, but she has characters with skulls as head, so it's walking skeletons, more or less, but with really cool clothing and setting and stuff like that. And I think it would be selling immediately. And I was messaging her, and did you hear about it? And maybe you should do it. Or it might even be that she asked the question on Twitter, so that anyone explain what's with all these crypto art, and that she sees them on Twitter and doesn't know what it is. So, and I tried to explain it, and then in the end it was, okay, sounds cool, kind of cool, but okay, I would have changed my text identity. In the end, it was about that. So that she was afraid that she had to do lots of things. So this was all compliant with the tax rules in Germany.
That's interesting, though, that she felt like she would have to change her, I guess, creative identity if she were to go into the NFT space. But and even so, I think just even without wanting to change her identity, it's just, if you're a professional artist and you're already, making money and your things are working, and then you're introduced to this new space, and there's this big learning curve and a lot of things to figure out. I guess they're a little bit afraid, but it sounded like you were inviting them and willing to kind of show them around, which is really valuable to have somebody that can help you as an artist, because it's if you're just by yourself and Googling everything, it's a little confusing, or you're just like, where do I even start? Like, there's so many places to mint your work, and especially if you're not using something simple like Pixel Chain where you can make it and mint it right in one place. It's like, it's a lot.
Yeah, sometimes I try to do this, but especially as I told, I have large amounts of time to do this. And sometimes I don't have any time to produce something. And I still try to stay active in that time. And sometimes it means just trying to help other people or just promoting their art. And it earned me some NFTs. That was what is really cool. So for example, there's this one guy. He's kind of new still. Affinity Play is his Twitter handle. He's a really cool pixel artist. I think on my. Let me see. I can go to OpenSea. To Rarible. Sorry. So yeah, it was this one. Gordon Zuckold, yeah. This is
wow.
Zuckold, I don't know. Yeah. And he gave this to me because I just retweeted another tweet from somebody else who said, I want to show me your art or show me some cool art. I want to buy some pixel art, for example. It was something else too, but also pixel art. I just retweeted this because I saw that he just released it a few days ago, and he immediately sold one of to him. So as a thank you, he gave this one to me. So it's a very it's a nice thing to participate.
Yeah, that's so cool. I love the NFT space. It seems like it's it feels like it's a little more collaborative, and that people, like fellow artists, support each other. Like everybody feels like there's room for everybody to grow and to be successful. Where I think in the traditional art world, it's a lot more competitive, maybe.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't have any experience there, but it seems so. Yeah.
Yes. So we're closing in on the hour, but I wanted to check in with chat if anybody else has any more questions. And in the meantime, I wanted to know if you have any, aside from the pandas, if you have any art that's going to be dropping soon, or maybe not. I know it would, if you don't have an exact date or whatever, but if anything is coming down the pipe that we should know about.
Yeah, actually, there are two things I would like to show you. One thing is I prepare kind of a making of audiovisual for the tape tools. I can just start this. I don't think you hear the music, but
everybody go listen to his NFTs that have music on them, because the music is really cool too.
Yeah, it shows the whole process, and and then when the music kicks in, see some pixel manipulation. It's also the first one that is animated in this way.
That's cool. And you used processing to create this?
Yes.
Wow. Nightmare asks, what are some of your favorite 8-bit games that inspired you? And they said, please say Mega Man.
To be honest, I don't have that many. I mean, unfortunately, I was never a real Game Boy or Nintendo or Sega child, because I just simply wasn't allowed to have any of these devices back in the day. So it was more like old PC games that I played, because my father had a PC and I sometimes allowed to play them. So it's more like Indiana Jones or Day of the Tentacle, these old click and point adventures.
Oh wow!
So yeah.
Decryptolorian asked about Space Quest or King's Quest. Did you ever play those?
No.
Ultima? No. He was deprived. His parents wouldn't let him have Sega or anything. Aw. But it's amazing that you had just that little, what little involvement you had in the gaming world, that you still somehow, all these years later, are creating pixel art, and it's really beautiful. It looks like it's funny that Nightmare asked about Mega Man, because I thought that might be one of your inspirations.
Oh no, this
like
must
natural.
be a coincidence, yeah.
Yeah, it seems like it's very natural for you to do, and yeah, we're excited to see more.
Maybe one last thing I would like to share, what's kind of a teaser too.
We love teasers.
And maybe I show this also in the Pixel Chain app. I hope I find it. Should be here somewhere.
Decryptolorian is asking if you've seen a game called Machinarium.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's one of my favorite games. Yeah, Machinarium is great, but it's not pixel art.
It's
But it's it's a really cool game, and it has great music. Definitely worth checking. Doesn't matter. So this is another process thing. So what I was trying to do is to create generative pixel art. So now I had this idea for this kind of pixel houses that are randomly created. Here it is. So this is really zoomed in. You can see some it's lights that turn on and off, and these ventilators rotating, and I did all this all the frame things I also made in Pixel Chain and then imported them again here. So I almost only either use only processing or Pixel Chain or both. There's hardly anything else. Okay, I use GIMP for creating GIFs and some video cutting tools for the it's pretty much my stack of tools. And this was zoomed in. It would something in the end. This will.
Leandro said
this will load a bit long, but this might give you an idea in what direction it's.
It's such an intensive process.
Sorry?
I was saying it's a very intensive process, going back and forth between Pixel Chain and processing, it seems like, but it's so worth it. This is, oh wow. Leandro said we need to make this on chain.
Yeah, it would be cool.
Mint and mint now.
Yeah, this is almost done. I want to have two, but yeah. So, and I'm not sure where to mint this, but I guess it will be Infinity tokens.
Leandro said, let's schedule a meeting.
For what exactly?
Sorry, there's a lot of background noise by me. I guess to make it happen, to get that on chain whenever you're ready, and figure out where the best place is to mint it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to get into. To be honest, but yeah, I'm kind of building up a portfolio, and let's see where this will take me. But Infinity is I can recommend to anyone, because they are really pushing this on-chain thing. And I mean, when you think about it, all this will be there probably long after you died on the blockchain.
It's such a weird thing to think, but it's true.
And yeah, and it's kind of cool to know that they will always work. The data is always there, so you can always reconstruct them. And yeah, that is something that Infinity is really concerned about. That the art is still there even if you are not there anymore.
Yes.
So I can highly recommend it. It's kind of expensive to create the contract at first, but I think it's worth it.
Yeah, it's your legacy that will live on long after you change planes and
Yeah.
yeah. That's really cool. And also feel free to share your links to your music in the chat too. We love
That's
music
the
and
thing.
art here.
I never.
Well, now there's music NFTs, so
yeah.
So you can also look into that.
This is something happened. So the audiovisual you just saw, there will be a beat on it, and I plan to mint the beat itself as an extended version, because you have to kind of take care of the file sizes.
That's probably limiting.
Yeah, the idea is to, I haven't taped 16 on sale yet, because I wanted to publish kind of a collector's box with the pixel chain and
Sorry, lost you for a second.
So, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. You want to start over?
I'm planning to what was I saying? The collector's box, kind of collector's box to publish this, and includes the pixel chain, the audiovisual, and the beat.
And when do you think that'll be ready to release?
Best case next week. Worst case the week afterwards. Yeah.
That's really soon.
Yes.
So keep your ears to the ground, folks. And does anyone have any more questions for Tim? No? All right. I think that we have seems like a great place to wrap it up. And thank you so much for being here and being so open with your process. And I really learned a lot today, and I'm sure the rest of the group has also learned a lot of things, some really cool tricks like copying the data and saving it for later. That's like totally blew my mind.
It's worth it.
So much.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Tim.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks. And we're looking forward to see what you do next, and keep us posted. And thanks everybody for being here, and have a great Sunday, everybody. Bye.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye. Thank you.